Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and I'm coming at you with some good news today. Now, I've always been a fan of Highlander, haven't really covered much of it yet because most of what I've seen was pretty much rumor beyond Henry Cavill's involved. And but now we've got some actual tangible evidence of what's going on. We've got this article from IGN. Henry Cavill is ready to unsheath his sword and first look at Highlander reboot from John Wick director Chad Stileski? I'm gonna go with Stileski. Um, there can be only fun. Yay, dad jokes right off the rip. I'm not real excited about the John Wick director doing it, most likely because I feel like he blew his load on the on John Wick. Because it got real screwy in the middle there, real screwy. And I don't like the fact that John Wick's like immortal and they don't explain it, but maybe, he's the perfect person to write a story about characters that are immortal since John Wick can't die. You know what? It's all coming together now. All the pieces are starting to fit. Look at this. Oh, can we Okay, it does look like he see no, I can't tell. It's blending into the background. I'm hoping he has at least a somewhat carved handle that looks kind of like a dragon. I can understand if they want to like redesign the handle, but it's at least got to be carved like some kind of animal or something, right? I will say though, based on this picture, I am getting it. This does give me like Highlander vibes. Like I can like hopefully he's playing Duncan, but I can see him just like slipping into the role really well. Pretty much everything Henry Cavill's done is he's pretty spot on when it comes to being an actor. So let's get in. Henry Cavill has posted his first look at his character in the Highlander reboot. The former Superman actor took to Instagram to reveal two images below of himself in character. As you'd expect from a Highlander movie, Cavill carries a sword. It looks like he's in Hong Kong in the first video or first photo, and in New York in the second. His coat is giving me Blade Runner vibes. Well, okay, good for you. His coat is giving me just I mean, honestly, it's giving me trench warfare vibes. Whoa, no, I don't want to go to Instagram. Yeah, this is giving me more like trench warfare with the fur on the top and like the leather, and it kind of looks like it has the German style cut. What's the other photo? Oh, the one they use up top. Ooh, it is a nicer photo. This one is more feels more like a Highlander movie. This one could be almost anything really, but that's it. Nice. I love it when actors just post a photo with no context, no statement. Just boom, here's some photos, and you got to piece it together, which the internet's really good at. And yes, that's Henry Cavill looking all moody while wielding a sword, which rekindles memories of his role as Geralt of Rivia in Netflix's The Witcher. Cavill left the show to reprise his role as Superman in James Gunn's rebooted DC universe, but it turned out the actor had been messed about prior leadership at the studio, and the role went to David Cornsweet. Happy first look for Highlander, Cavill said alongside the photos. This has been quite a journey for me, which I'll tell you about when the time is right, but it's a special moment to be able to share this. I hope you enjoy. Oh, he did write something? I guess you have to go. Oh, all right. My mistake. He gave us the context clues. Internet didn't have to figure shit out. Cavill's mention of Highlander being quite the journey may be a reference to a leg injury he sustained last year while training for the film, which delayed production to early 2026. Highlander, directed by John Wick's Chad Stileski, God, I'm going to screw this guy's name up every time, uh, is set in beyond present day New York and Hong Kong, with Cavill set to play a sword master who's been alive for over 500 years, training in all sorts of martial arts along the way. Beyond present day, by how much? Because when you're doing stuff set in the future, it has to be set in either like the near immediate future, so you can justify the lack of technological advance, or it has to be set far enough in the future to where you could just make up some bullshit with the technology, or it has to be set in a future where society has collapsed and technology has regressed slightly, but not too much. All right, you can't just be like, "Oh, we went from 2020s to 1980. Yeah, we're back to fucking Betamax and VHS." It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Just stop. Alternate future where those technologies were dominant, sure, but this is a present. It says beyond present day New York and Hong Kong, which means 4 or 5 years in the future. Um, the only advantage of doing beyond present day, where you maintain the current state of technology, is to establish your own world leaders, so as you don't have to depict people that are alive or in current things of control. Although it'd be hilarious if it takes place like 20 years from now and they make a mention of Vladimir Putin still running Russia, because that would be fucking ridiculous. The Highlander films and TV series revolves around an age-old war between immortal warriors who can only be killed via beheading. The cult classic 1986 debut film starred Christopher Lambert as Connor MacLeod, who is trained by Sean Connery's Ramirez. It fuses past and present day storylines, switching from 16th century Scottish Highlands to 80s New York. I didn't think about that. I said Duncan earlier from the TV show, but he's probably Connor, because if they're doing a hardcore reboot, he would have to be Connor, because you can't explain Duncan without Connor. So my mistake. That was a faux pas on my part. I watched more of the TV show because there was more of the TV show to watch. And then the last movie, I think, had Duncan and Connor, because I think Connor made Duncan behead him. It was it was okay, right? The first Highlander movie is a fucking masterpiece. Um, it's got Clancy Brown in it, and oh man, it's so good. It's such a good cast. Where was I? Connor MacLeod, who is trained by Ramirez. Yeah, that's the best part. Is Sean Connery plays a character named Ramirez, who's supposed to be a Spaniard or something, and he's full blown gives zero fucks about his accent. It fuses past. Okay, I finished that. Is this a trailer of the original? Stileski has offered a vague story setup. We're bringing it forward from the early 1500s in the Highlands to beyond present day New York and Hong Kong, and seeing how it goes. There's big opportunity for action. There's a chance to play a character that not a lot of people get to play, and it's a bit of a love story, but not how you think. On John Wick, I learned a lot of how to bend the storyline a little, another kind of myth. And on Cavill's character, Stileski added, my selling point was to Henry, look, you've got a guy that's been alive for over 500 years. He's the last person in the world that wanted to be in this situation. So you get to cover quite a broad spread of character arcs there. And you get to experience someone that's trained over 500 years and sort of played with many types of martial arts. In September, Deadline reported that WWE star Drew McIntyre, nope, who hails from Ayrshire, Scotland, will play Angus MacLeod, brother to Cavill's MacLeod. He joins Russell Crowe, Karen Gillan, Djimon Hounsou, Dave Bautista, Marissa Abella, and Max Zhang in the reboot. Man, is Dave Bautista going to be able to handle it? Okay, is Dave all right? All right, I think I know where this is going. I'm gonna wait to find out. I'm not gonna speculate at all. I'm gonna have my internal speculations, but I'm not gonna speculate here today. Well, and also because the cast list could be out, and I don't want to just say some shit and be wrong. I'll look that up later. Um, in August last year, Stileski suggested the Highlander reboot could be the start of something big. I think we have something very good elements now, he said. The trick is when you have the tagline, there can be only one, you can't just kill everybody the first time. Yeah, they didn't. Also, you can't kill all of them, because even though the story arc and the tagline and the saying there can be only one is huge when it comes to Highlander, the immortals just happen. The quickening just goes, I'm gonna make a new immortal. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. That's what. I'm the quickening. Um, so like, yeah, like they don't they claim they kill all of them. They kill all of them that we knew of in the last movie, the last official Highlander movie. And that's why I say that we knew of, because there could be immortals that they don't know of. There could be some immortal just sitting in a mountain being like, I don't give a shit. I starve to death every week. I revive. I haven't left this mountain in 600 years. Uh, we don't know. Like, you can do anything with a Highlander story. It's crazy. Because, like, and they also don't explain, like, what happens if somebody accidentally gets beheaded and there's just a regular person nearby? Does the quickening just go, you're immortal now, dude? What's up, random guy that's walking by and saw this person get beheaded? Congratulations, welcome to immortality. It sucks. At least their version does, because like they're just dying all the time. Let's see. He continued, our story engages a lot of the same characters and stuff like that. Stilisky continued, but we've also brought in elements of all the TV shows, and we're trying to do a bit of a prequel, a setup to The Gathering, so we have room to grow the property. Okay. If you're doing a reboot, then it doesn't matter what came before. Just saying. It's a reboot. Like everything before is completely irrelevant. You're going forward with your own new thing. Like you want to draw inspiration, that's fine. Don't go too deep. Like your first outing should be like, tread safe waters. Um And Highlander the Gathering is a summoning that forces the immortal warriors to face each other in what's called the game. I've been a fan of Highlander since I was a lad, said Cavill on Instagram when the film was announced in 2021. From the movies and all of their 80s queen slathered glory to the TV show with an actor who looked remarkably like one of my brothers. Being not shy with swords and having a director as talented as Chad Selesky at the helm, this is an opportunity like no other. In April 2024, Cavill bigged bigged up his training for the Highlander movie, promising even more impressive sword skills than he demonstrated in Netflix's The Witcher. Um, all right. If you thought you'd seen me do sword work before, you haven't seen anything yet, said Cavill. Now, I believe you because I'm not gonna lie, the sword work in The Witcher is kind of lazy. Kind of lazy. Just going out there and saying it. I don't see too many people out there praising the sword combat of The Witcher left and right. There aren't people doing breakdown videos of The Witcher's fight scenes the way they do, like, Ewan McGregor and Ray Park's fight scenes in episode one, The Phantom Menace. They just, this I hope it's since it's absolutely based on sword fights. Like The Witcher's not based on sword fights. The sword is there to just end the fight. The magic, the potions, that's mostly where it's at. And it's always tacitly implied that if Geralt were to get into a sword fight with a human, it would be over in seconds. So it's not really a sword fight. It's more of just a slower execution. But man, I'm excited for this. I love Highlander, man. I love it. It was one of those series that just it captures you from the beginning. It's so interesting and so entertaining. And it's a slept on property. I felt like it I'm surprised it took them this long to reboot it, honestly. And I guess it's because it went out on such a high note with the last movie and a lot of it divided the fan base a little bit, but it was a better movie than some of the previous stuff that came before it for sure. Um, and it really tied up some loose ends. They can never answer all the questions because when you create a world, man, unless you spend 20 years crafting it or you go to like Tolkien-esque levels of description, you're not going to cover all your bases to the point. There's always going to be loose ends, is what I'm saying. But looks promising. Looks promising. Again, to me, I don't get Blade Runner vibes from this at all. The coat and the outfit straight up give me trench warfare vibes. And now that it's confirmed that it takes place in Hong Kong and New York, mostly in the present day parts, saying you think this looks like Hong Kong when there's paper lanterns and a Buddha is kind of silly, and saying this looks like New York when there's obviously Christian or Catholic imagery is silly. Also, a boom mic. boop, boop, boop. I just noticed that. I wasn't paying attention earlier. They got me. Swallowed spit. Sorry. Oh, right. I meant I inhaled spit. But yeah, this is gonna be exciting. Finally they're giving Henry Cavill something to like put his chops into and actually like show us what he's capable of because Hollywood has slept on this man for far too long, right? He's always just been kind of an extra character. They never really pushed his leading role, and then when he did get like a main leading role, it was helmed by Zack Snyder, who is a little bit over the top and over dramatic. Let's be real. And over dramatics doesn't really work with Superman, in my opinion. I'm not a huge Superman fan. I don't think. Yeah, I have some Superman comics. The first Superman comic I bought was Death of Superman because I was a Batman fan, huge Batman fan, obviously Batman fan. But Cavill just I've enjoyed his entire career almost. I loved him. I loved his character in Count of Monte Cristo. It was the first time I remember seeing him. I was like, man, this kid's a good actor, like surprisingly good for his age. But he's just grown into a great actor. If you haven't seen The Man from Uncle, check that out. That movie's amazing too. He knocks out of the park there. But this is going to be promising, to say the least. Again, I am worried with Chad Stileski, but he's got a knack for making the first movie in a series exceptionally well. Let's just hope that he doesn't get too John Wicky with the story and doesn't do too much of the like quick cut action scenes. If you're gonna boast sword fights, I want to see some sword fights. I don't want to see 1,000 jump cuts, right? I want to see like some parrying and riposting and whatnot. Well, he's wielding a katana in the one image in this one where they cut the boom mic out. Like this is more like what you'll see in the theater. This was Henry sharing a set photo where you can clearly see the boom. Wait, where is it cut off at? Right there. Yeah. So and this was probably cut by IGN, which I'm gonna borrow this for my thumbnail because I like this. I like the composition of this shot. But yeah, Highlander news update. I'm gonna try to keep more up with this movie. I haven't posted anything about this, I don't think yet. Mostly because, like I said, I was waiting for like more confirmation, and other part because I've just been swamped with work and haven't really had time to do too many videos. But that's all I have for this video. This is your host Belmont, signing out.